Greetings in the love and in the light of the one infinite creator. I'm Andre, and today we're embarking on a crucial exploration of war, peace, family dynamics, and spiritual healing. In this session, we'll delve into the complex interplay of global conflicts, personal familial challenges, and the transformative power of spiritual guidance. Thank you for joining us in this journey of understanding, compassion, and collective growth. Let's begin this insightful exploration together. All right. So, the topics, the seeming ratcheting up of war and violence, challenges with our family of origin, supporting and healing one another, self in suffering. Okay. So, can I have a volunteer to help me with the reading?
I can, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Um, okay, so I'll read a paragraph and then you read a paragraph or something like that. Okay. We are cool, and we greet this circle in the love and light, the light and glory of the one infinite creator. We join you in this circle with hearts filled with joy and honor, as you have invited us to join you upon your journey of seeking together. We join you now in a more obvious or apparent way, but we have been called to this circle of seeking for the entire time that you have been together. For in every thought and word spoken of love and of service, and as you hold us in your hearts, we feel a call and an invitation. And we have been honored to witness and be a part of each interaction that you have shared, each exchange of love and of energy throughout your time together. The light and the magic generated by your gathering can be seen throughout the entire creation. All right, Robert.
And we are not the only ones who are called to join you in love and in joy, but we have the distinct honor and duty of coming to you to address the queries that are upon your minds and hearts. We wish to emphasize that we are but brothers and sisters upon this journey, and as such, we would offer our typical request as always that it is our overriding desire to only be of service to you and to enable you upon your journey of seeking. Thus, we request that you only take those words that we share that may benefit you in some way. And if you find any word or thought that becomes a stumbling block for you, please dismiss it and cast it aside and only take those that you can use. By allowing us, wait, can you open it up wider so
Wider?
that it
Here.
so that
Okay. Is that better? Oh,
yeah,
okay. Where did it go?
I know, right?
Okay. Okay. We'll just skip to the next paragraph. Because I'm not sure where we were. Okay, that was just the intro blurb. Um, okay. First.
So I was running out of ability to read ahead of myself.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay. Can you see this over here? How about you read this one? This is the question, and then I'll read the answer.
Okay. First, thank you, Ko, for being a loving light presence in my mind and in my heart. My question: the violence taking place now in Israel and Gaza appears extremely brutal. Why does it seem the violence keeps ratcheting it up higher and higher to more extremes of revenge and needless brutality? Is this because our populations are just not getting the message and they need stronger and stronger catalysts to set them on the path to unity? Will we ever have peace? Thank you so much for being with us today. I'm grateful to be here with you.
Cool. I am Kuo, and I'm aware of your query, my sister. This query we find is one which indeed weighs greatly upon not just the hearts of those present, but many, many in your world. It is a struggle to witness that which has been perpetuated throughout the ages, and is being made more obvious to you now, the violence of bellicosity and suffering endured. We would begin addressing this query by zooming out, if you will, into the perspective of third density within the solar system of your local sublogos. For we find that this pattern of bellicose violence is indeed not unique to this time upon your planet, or indeed this planet itself. The violent bellicosity has been perpetuated and played out in cycle upon other planets within your solar system to such extreme degrees that entire planets were rendered unviable to support life, like Maldek and Mars. This may seem, from third density perspective, somewhat of a failure on the part of your sublogos to create an archetypical mind and a pathway of evolution of mind, body, and spirit that results in such blind violence, so much so that destruction is wrought on such grand levels. However, we ask you to remember that all that takes place upon any planet within the entire creation does so within the love and light of the one Creator, and that the process of the Creator discovering itself contains many surprises, many of them containing difficulty and pain. We asked you to remember those times upon your own journeys where pain and difficulty were the hallmark of your experience, and as you look back upon those experiences, we ask you to ask yourselves how this may have served you, what realization this has brought you. We ourselves, of the Confederation of Planets in service to the one infinite Creator, cannot speak to the success or failure of the Sublogos and its attempt to offer experiences to create the Creator, but can only offer where is it? Can only recognize, that even the darkest aspects of each experience eventually dawn with the love and light of the one infinite Creator, and that this dawning is made apparent and most obviously in what you may call hindsight. However, we understand that this does little to alleviate the immediate pain and suffering that you witness on your planet. We may speak to what you witness at this time and how the dynamics of the process of your planet's ascension and transformation in a fourth density planet are involved in this expression of self and other self that creates such suffering and pain. As we have pointed out, such violence is not unique to this time in particular. It has been somewhat endemic to the third density of this solar system. But if you examine the history that you are aware upon your own planet, you may find that such violence as you witness now has been present throughout many ages within many cultures. And even now there is suffering and violence upon your planet that does not come to your awareness by the means that you have been made aware of those events spoken of within the query. The weight of this is heavy upon the heart of the spiritual seeker, and it weighs heavy upon our own hearts. The incoming light of fourth density is one of love and understanding. However, we know that your perspective that love and understanding seems to be qualities that are missing most within the actions and events referenced within the query. But we ask you to frame this idea of light and love and understanding into a light that not only reveals the world to self, but self to self. And there are many, many upon your planet who are unable and not ready to face the self. And so, when they are confronted with the necessity of facing the self, the projection of those aspects of the self being asked to be faced intensifies, and the turning away from the self becomes not only more common, but more difficult. And this creates an inner tension. It exacerbates the fears and anxieties and insecurities within those who are already unstable upon their path and unaware of their own true natures. And when this light of fourth density intensifies, so too does that catalyst that is asking each self to become aware of those aspects of self that you may call the shadow. It is through this means that the catalyst, the events, and the intensity of such events seem intensified upon your planet. There are other mechanisms at play, such as those mechanisms of fourth density that connect populations, that allow you to become aware of other selves in more intense ways and more meaningful ways. We ask you to consider that in times past, if such difficult and painful suffering happened on the other side of your planet, would you be aware of it? You are made aware now because of certain technologies that bring you together as a people and allow you, as conscious seekers, to be aware of situations and events in need of love and understanding. And it is in this way that the light of fourth density may show itself within these seemingly to the third density perspectives tragic situations. It is through you that the love and light of the one infinite Creator may be brought to bear upon these events. Within the query, it was asked if there will ever be peace. We can only answer from the perspective that we have that all suffering, all distortion, all paradox, all wounding eventually, at some point, resolves. All suffering that you see upon your planet will indeed cease, and from our perspective, the likelihood of the dawning of fourth density is imminent in the grand scale upon your planet. However, we encourage you not to receive these words in a way which allows you to sit back and rest in comfort that these things will resolve themselves, for this is not the way the Creator moves. The Creator moves through seekers such as yourselves. And when we see the likelihood of peace dawning upon your planet, it is through the conscious co-creation of seekers such as yourself that such peace may be brought to bear. We understand and have been aware of the discussions and the tensions felt within this group, wondering how exactly one may contribute to such peace when it seems like such violence is so large and so far away. As conscious seekers, we ask you to consider the nature of your connection with those other selves who you witness involved in in such conflicts, whether they be those that you deem victims or those you deem perpetrators. Seek deep within your being, your heart of being, that is the same heart of the being, the so-called victim and the so-called perpetrator. Seek to understand the circumstances, not just material circumstances, but mental and spiritual circumstances that allowed them to be in this role, that you witness and recognize how these circumstances may play out in your own life, how these energies of bellicosity may be present within you, how you may be denying them yourself and projecting them onto either victim or perpetrator. Allow these reflections to bring you deeper and deeper into your own heart. And as you dive into the depths of your being, you will meet each other self, victim, perpetrator, or otherwise. And it is in this sanctified inner holy of holies that you may bless whatever is present, suffering or joy, violence or peace. And in this way, those energies, the cycles that play out upon your planet, are also blessed by your inner seeking and your prayers and your love as co-creator. We also understand that there seem to be practical material solutions needed and necessary to resolve such conflicts that bring about such violence and suffering, and we can only offer the perspective that as more and more seekers make the effort to find the inner sanctum and to bring each other's self into the heart and discover the Creator within all, that this power intensifies, and there is a certain intelligence that is able to manifest as each seeker joins together in this process. This intelligence may speak through those who have the role and responsibility of finding such practical solutions. Those impossible situations may seem to loosen and relax, and the ability of you as a global society, as a population unified upon one beautiful planet, may together say together that we no longer wish to perpetuate these things, that we all together can find solutions to not just the harm done to the people, but to the planet. All of this is available and can be manifested. At any moment, you may all turn towards that reality, and that reality will dawn with fourth density upon your planet. As a final message through this instrument, we offer the acknowledgement that such a path that you have chosen within the third density can be difficult, that the joy you have experienced during your time together can wane, and that the pain, not just of the things that you witness in the world, but that you experience in your life, can feel like it drags you down and inhibits your ability to provide this love and light so needed in your world. We too feel this weight, and we are called to it, and the pain that you may feel is our pain. We offer ourselves to you, and we are awaiting the invitation to aid you upon this journey. Individually, at any moment, if you are feeling as though your love is waning and your ability to walk with peace and joy upon your planet is inhibited, you may call and ask for assistance, and we will do our very best to share our heart of love and light with you. We will attempt to bolster, and if you accept our offering, we may join together in this mission and in this holy journey to share the love and light, the peace and the joy and the glory of that one infinite Creator upon your planet and throughout the infinite creation. Okay, transfer to Trisha. All right, so let's discuss that. That was quite a mouthful. Right. So, anyone have any comments?
Well, to me, it sounded very familiar. I can understand so much of that, and you can see so much of it in your life if you've encountered that in your path ever. So it had the ring of truth to it in so many places.
Mm-hmm. Ed, how about you?
Well, I think that this is like there was a lot in there. I'm trying to kind of think back of like specifics, but it seems to be one of those ones that kind of like joins the whole kind of dots together again. Like why the war's happening. Why people are going through these catalysts, why they're doing these things. Because we always have to remember that everyone picks their path here, right? Everybody that incarnated in Russia and Ukraine, they knew that this was going to be coming inside their lifetime when they came in here. So they chose these catalysts. So us being witnessing those and taking the experience from putting ourselves in their position in ourselves and realizing the pain and the suffering that they went through is like a lesson to us so that we don't have to feel those pains and that we feel the we can look at ourselves and see what inside us would make us want to be the guy with a gun or would make us like allow ourselves to be the one that's hurt. And so by understanding all those things in ourselves, it's the mirror thing again, that they talk about a lot, that you know the things that we perceive brought to us are the things that we need to view inside ourselves, that we need to kind of reflect and understand. I think this is a good one for that. Once again, Quo, beautiful language though, and like you can understand why it's quite hard for us works for us to pick it apart because there's so much in there. But it all just sounds like poetry. It's just beautiful. I don't know. Every single time I read Quo, this is just like my instant reaction. I just like there should just be like a book of like the most beautiful quotes ever said. Like, do you know what I mean? It'd be like the most amazing poetry book ever, the most inspiring, beautiful poetry book. Anyway, I apologize. That's my thoughts on it. What does anyone else think?
Yeah, I actually made a book of Kuo, all of the paragraphs that contain the word love. It's like a 600-page book.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. I would like to comment
Mhm.
by what Ed had said helped spark a memory. The television, we've been watching television programs for about 80 some years now. That's more than the average lifespan of a human. So it's similar what we just said about how mirroring, you're seeing yourself in others and you're being shown how suffering is so you can surpass the need to suffer like that anymore if you just pay attention. And that's all we've been doing on televisions is seeing that kind of stuff over and over and over. It's in the dramas, even the comedies, whatever, the love stories that people have watched hour after endless hour on televisions, and they're staring at that screen like they're mesmerized. And it's similar to being in like a meditative state. So they're in like a meditative state of just staring mindlessly at the screen, showing them all this catalyst and stuff year after year after year. It's no wonder we're changing and evolving, and there's something massive has to about to happen because of the way the artificial consciousness is coming on board, the AI. I mean, all that adding into this right now, it's just it snowballed into this moment we're in right now of such intensity. It's amazing.
I think I agree there as well, and I think that Quo even kind of spoke about it. Is that there's a plan, that this whole thing's rolling out step by step as we can hack it. As our consciousness grows and we kind of the greater consciousness, once all these imprints get put on there, that so we can kind of access them and see these things as reality and normal. Then like slowly but surely, like back before television, there'd have only been books or radio to share the same, outside perspectives. But then, slowly but surely, like we've gone back to we've got to television, and that stepped up again. Then step up as technology steps up. It's like our consciousness steps up more, and we can take more of these catalysts in to kind of progress us further, faster, I suppose. Andre?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wrote it. I got a chat GPT to make a bullet point summary of what we read, And so the most pertinent one I've seen so far is the role of the conscious seeker, emphasizes the importance of active participation by individuals in creating peace, rather than passively waiting for it to occur. And that's where they were talking about that whole. Um,
Just sitting back.
yeah. Don't just sit back, and do your best to connect with both the victim and the perpetrator, and understand what it is they're doing, and bring peace and love and kindness to that situation. And I think that has
Yeah.
to do with kind of like there is this like the mind of Earth, or the social memory complex of humanity. It has certain limits, and when we actively participate in it, we can push those limits. We can push the limits of peace and increase the amount of peace and love and forgiveness by simply practicing those thoughts, and figuring out, okay, why is this person so angry and so resentful, and then getting into that super angry and resentful state, and then from their perspective, and then finding the path to forgiveness, love, and kindness from that state, and then letting that permeate, and then it'll be easier for the next time. It's like the morphogenetic resonance, or morphogenetic fields.
Yeah. And I could see that, like, when imagine all these older generation people that are watching the network news and they see this war break out between Israel and Hamas, and they start saying stuff like, "Oh, those fucking idiots." So then you have millions of people all at the same time thinking those are fucking idiots. And they're making this situation more idiotic because they're creating the idiots.
Yeah, that's a good point. It has here the power of collective effort, and suggests that the collective power of seekers can influence practical solutions and societal change towards a more harmonious existence. And
Which is
so
why
so
love in every
like one of those things that I like to do is, when I hear a negative comment, is I think of what's the opposite positive thing. And it's like, oh, that smart person, or the
right.
wise person, or where's the love and where's the wisdom in this moment. And this also, the power of collective effort reminds me of how like those peace meditations really have a profound effect. And I remember reading that. Well, I'm sure you're aware of those peace meditations with the Washington D.C. how it dropped the crime rate in the summer, and things like that, while people were meditating. I think by the Maharishi they did that study, and then there was another meditation group that was actually associated, of sending peace and love energies, and it helped actually bring down the wall, the Berlin Wall, and helped to create a peaceful transition there, because like there were tanks and stuff, but very few, if anyone, got injured.
Can I just say that whenever I meditate, like whenever I put in more energy than I need, or I'm getting to the end of it and I kind of have to release energies or whatever, the main thing that I do is I just focus it all into my heart chakra, and then I just kind of beam it out like these big kind of pulses of green light, that comes out in these big waves, and essentially I'm just pumping it indiscriminately out into the universe, just turning everything into love and pumping it out to everything, to create it, to every single living thing, good, evil, bad, nice, whatever, enemy, friend, everybody gets equal doses of love, and I feel like that practices like that, directed in a certain way, you know, um, could, in theory, be unbelievably powerful. If enough people focus it, like enough psychic energy on a specific point to try to change the vibration of the people there, who's to say what couldn't be changed? But
That's right, Ed. We can each we you just by living the light life, you are forming a pillar that connects as above, so below. So you don't have to do a lot sometimes. Just being is important.
Yeah.
But conscious effort. It said, conscious effort. That doesn't mean that you have to like be out on the street with a banner, like waving a
Right.
flag or whatever. It means focus your consciousness. Like focus that concentration on making those things better.
Yeah, and that's what I learned from. I believe it was in the Raw Contact, where they are saying one of the best things you can do is look for love in every moment. And to
Yeah,
me, that
Ra said the same thing. He said a quote said the same thing in there. He basically said, once the world starts to see the creator in all things, and that's the
yeah,
same thing. Like see love in everything, see the creator in everything.
so
It
then
doesn't
if
matter
you
what it is.
right,
Love is the cause,
right,
and it doesn't matter what you're looking at. It's all creator.
and if we do that, we are strongly forming those pillars that others can lean on during tumultuous times, whatever. We can be a strong beacon of light by attempting that, at least seeking love at every moment of your awake time, even in your dream world, if you're able to bring that on board like that.
So I I,
So
I I got a summary of the proactive steps we can take, and it's got reflect on personal hardships. And seekers should reflect on their experience of pain and difficulty, understanding how these experiences have contributed to their personal growth and realization. And cultivate self-awareness. Um, the what do you call it? Embrace the process of self-realization, especially recognizing and confronting aspects of the shadow self, those parts of ourselves we might not readily acknowledge or face. And I think this, like the first one, is really important for if you are healing within, then you are actually we're all a hologram, and so when you're healing what's inside of you, you're healing the world because you're healing an aspect of that hologram. That's why it doesn't matter where we are or no, like on Earth, like spiritual growth will find us, because even if we like purify ourselves completely, then the hologram of Earth will like put something else in there for us to heal. And
I don't like to think of the hologram thing. I like illusion. Illusion works great.
okay,
You
all
know,
right, sure.
I don't know. The hologram thing. It sounds too much like trying to turn it on to chaos magic.
Okay. Well,
it sounds more Star Trekky too. Like, let's go
Yeah,
on
it's
the
like you're on the hollow deck.
yeah.
It makes it sound artificial rather than
well,
magical.
it
But I
it
like it. I personally like it.
I know the Confederation has spoken that basically we're actually part of these waves of energy that are coming from not just the galactic center, but the center of the cosmos, the great attractor. And so
Oh,
like we're
is that what they say? Is it the Great Attractor?
well, I don't know if they called it. I think they called it the Grand Central Sun or something. But in science terminology, it's called the Great Attractor. Um, but yeah, so we're helping process like the catalyst of that is coming from the Grand Central Sun, like as we're processing the catalyst that is on Earth and things like that. And another step here is embrace fourth density values. Actively work to embody the qualities of the fourth density, such as love and understanding, in day-to-day interactions and perspectives. Connect deeply with the inner self. Engage in deep introspection to connect with your inner being, recognizing the shared nature of your heart, both victim and perpetrator, and understands the circumstances that shape that role. Acknowledge global awareness. Participate in collective peacemaking, such as like peace meditations and things like that. Engage in compassionate actions, empathizing with others. Support and share spiritual wisdom. Offer support to others on their spiritual journey, and share insights and wisdoms that can guide them. And invite and offer spiritual assistance, join in collective spiritual outfits, and balance love and wisdom. Yeah.
I agree with all of those statements, 100%.
All right. So
The whole other thing about this is that we're talking about the morphogenic field. That the Earth is going through the transition into fourth density as well, right? It's not just us; that the planet is, you know. And what was it Raz said about like it was gonna need to shake people off like ticks or something? Do you remember that bit?
I
Like,
don't.
do you remember? I think it's like the second book maybe. Ra talks about kind of how like, you know, as Earth goes into fourth density, it's gonna kind of like not everyone's gonna make it, and it'll like shake people off like ticks. Anyway, the point is that the kind of the all of this war and these things that are happening. I think this is kind of the death throes of war for humans. Like I feel like this is like we've got to the end point where we're intellectually and like spiritually as en masse getting to the point where war is something that we're not going to value so much anymore. You know, I personally feel that things massively falling the other way. So with I personally think that's because there's huge changes in the morphogenic field. There's huge changes in how societally we've all progressed, and then because of those things, it's kind of got to a place where we're, as a species, we're kind of becoming higher than those kind of animal aspects that run countries. You know, so what all of the us meditating and us being compassionate and us doing the things to put peace into the energy. It's all of those things are going to affect the morphogenic field of the planet that are going to help the Earth go into its next density and its transition, and the things that have to happen to get us there. The shaking the ticks off. Those are things that we have to see with love as well, even if they're brutal and horrible. Like that's
Yep,
a really
I
cool
like.
picture, dude.
Yeah, yeah, I had it generated for exactly our discussion. Yeah, here I'll.
That's cool. All the people like pumping all their energy into the morphogenic field.
Yeah, so
That's cool.
yeah, the description I had it generate an image of the morphogenic field as we heal ourselves within. It heals the world and makes it easier for others to heal in similar situations.
Seriously, dude. Like my
Yeah.
prompts don't come out anywhere like that. What? Dude, mine had come out like sludge. You would need like that's not what I wanted. How the hell do you get it to do that?
Sludge.
Well, it worked, didn't it? Eh? Yeah.
I have to get it to like 100 different things before I find one that looks anything like cool. What?
Here, let's see if we can.
And
It's
honestly,
on.
is it because you use it all the time? It's like,
Maybe
yes,
it knows
Andre,
me.
I'm gonna do you a really nice one. I love you, Andre. Look at this
Yeah,
lovely picture I made you.
He was connected to them very intimately in previous lives.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
true.
that's what it is. It's all
Yeah,
the
you
great
know what?
technology. It's favoring you, dude.
Yeah, it's like it's an amazing synchrony. Like, basically, what I want, that's what it tells everybody. It's so.
Dude.
It's nice that
It's
way.
doing
You
the
tell it to
bidding
listen
for
to
you.
me.
Yeah, there's the
It's
image.
at your bid. Wow.
Yeah. Well, it's very nice.
Just
I like it.
tell
That is
them
very cool, dude.
Yeah. Thanks. All right. Should we read some more?
Yay!
Okay. Anyone want to volunteer, or should I?
No.
Well, I can.
You
yeah.
can. Okay. Okay. Here.
But it's hard to because there's a bar on the bottom of my screen saying it's your screen, and that
Oh. Okay. Okay.
interrupts my flow a little bit here.
Here. I'm gonna find where we are. Okay. Over here. Or are you reading it, or am I?
You have to read the question, right?
Oh. Oh. Okay. No. This is not the question. This is a continuation.
Oh, it is.
Oh, okay.
Please.
Oh, I didn't realize it would be so short. Okay. Well, I guess I can finish this. We are those of Kuo, and we are now with this instrument. And speaking through this instrument, we wish to impart our gratitude once again for this gathering of like-minded and like-hearted souls. We see such beauty, such purity of intention, such saturation of the most pure, vibrant light, crystalline, almost in nature, and we appreciate to feel the warmth from that glow. We are in awe and in thanks to be a part of this gathering in this way, and we would ask if there is a question at this time which we may speak. many of us who are wanderers have problems with our family of origin. What is the proper spiritual attitude to take toward family who reject us, fail to support us, and or who are hostile toward us?
We are those of Ko, and we are aware and appreciate the query, my sister. The familial dynamics found in this density are indeed some of the more tricky or challenging to navigate in the incarnational journey, the soul's evolution and progression forward. For you see that these relational dynamics are somewhat created and inspired to create what you call catalysts, opportunities for learning about self and other self, and both in relation to the Creator. We understand that there are those on this planet who feel divided or isolated or pushed away from those who you would call a blood relation. We can understand how incredibly difficult or painful that experience may feel, for you are already on a journey that can be at times quite isolating. And therefore, you look for the support and love from those of your, as you say, bloodline. However, that there is hostility or rejection or misunderstanding does not equate a lack of love. It does not equate a failure on anyone's part. No, in fact, this kind of difficulty can be seen through the lens of love and gratitude, so one may view it as a gift. We do not say that to mean that the experience is one of joy or one of ease, but merely to reframe the challenge as an opportunity to rediscover and to further know and hone the ability to love with the open heart and without condition. The spiritual attitude or direction one may take includes that of gratitude, includes that of wonder, of curiosity, that of acceptance. All of those facets of that spiritual attitude need not occur without the employ of wisdom of the soul. For we see that that too is a great import in this journey. However, simply practicing and intending to see the other self as extensions of the Creator, seeing the other self as a fellow seeker on the path, though they may not realize this, seeing the other self as wounded or in pain as well, viewing them in their totality, not with judgment, but with open arms, with understanding and acceptance of who they are in that moment. That need not require the diminishing of the hurtful actions or the forgetting of the pain they caused, for those too are valid. It simply means to find where their own life catalyst may inform them of these actions, and seeing them as human, seeing them as part of this dance you have agreed to take on with one another, so that you may further this experiment of the Creator knowing itself. We realize that this is not always an easy goal to undertake. This is not always a seemingly productive, one may say, venture. You may find that there are many obstacles, many instances of what you call tripping up, many seeming moments of backslide. And in those moments, we would only suggest that you practice not only acceptance and forgiveness of the other self in the 360-degree view of the self, but also towards yourself, remembering that your worth is not diminished by the actions of another, nor is their worth diminished in their own actions. Keeping in mind that all parties involved are pure facets, beautiful representations, perfect and imperfect strands of threads that weave together to create this tapestry you call the illusion, will help guide you, will help you to see the illusory nature of these dynamics. We do not say that to negate any kind of pain or confusion. Allow that pain and confusion to be felt. Allow that pain and confusion to be seen and recognized within. Allow that pain and confusion to be thanked for what they provided you. Opportunities to practice self love and opportunities to continue in faith and in love for the other self. And allow that pain and confusion to be lovingly let go. Bless them on their journey as you do a dear friend. And though the pain and confusion may at times cause for a change in perspective that one may hold for these other selves, behold for these other selves who you desire to feel close connection to, who in your culture or society may tell you need be close to you, remember always that you are perpetually supported. Family need not be bloodline specific in the way you see it. Family may be those who understand and see you for your beauty and your perfection. Family may be seen as the most gorgeous sunrise you witness or the most pure, uplifting breeze you feel as you walk through the woods. Family may be the smile you receive from a stranger on the street. Family may be the sensation you feel in your heart when you see two people connect. Family may be so much larger than just the nuclear sense, as you call it. Family is or can be viewed as the oxygen that you breathe, the life giving nutrients that you receive from the food you eat. It can be seen as the spiritual lessons you are gifted. For all of these things support you in your incarnation and in your soul's journey forward. Is not that the definition of how you see family? These ever present and guiding elements that make you feel at home, that help you know yourself more deeply? My friends, we empathize with the challenges that come in relating in this density, family being one avenue for this kind of challenge. We issue our deep care and love to you as you navigate these difficult relationships. And know we are always present and can be called upon, for we too are your family. Consider us your brothers and sisters who are always desiring and willing to be there for you, to shroud you in the love and support you so truly deserve and desire. And know that ultimately it is you who steers the I lost. Yeah, it is you who steers the direction of your incarnational experience. That the spiritual attitude you take is like the steering wheel on the ship, with an open heart, with faith, with love, all informed by wisdom, of course. You may steer that ship further towards understanding and acceptance. And in that process, you may find that your open arms and the light you shine acts as a beacon and inspires those who you are in challenging relationships with to be more fully themselves, to release the incarnational, spiritual, or emotional baggage that they hold that allows them to also access that unconditional loving part of themselves. That is their true nature at heart. What an amazing gift that you can be that for your other self, and that they can teach you as well, and inspire you, and challenge you as well to be that for them. In closing, we do want to simply reiterate that all of this love should be in balance with wisdom. For we know that there are times when the unconditional love and the expenditure of energy in tandem and in certain configurations can lead to emotional martyrdom. We ask that you meditate on times when you feel that you are spreading yourself too thin, that the relationship is causing more pain than you can handle in that moment. We ask that you take a deep breath, and as you exhale, that you send love and light to the other being, and that you recognize your own self worth in your next inhale. And as you exhale, wishing that others self peace on their journey, not in a way that writes them off or devalues them, but in a way that acknowledges them and the validity of their experience, and also honors your own. All with, we correct this instrument, all bound within the unifying force of love. My friends, we are so immensely grateful to have had this opportunity to connect with you, who we consider our family. We appreciate the way you show up for one another in this circle, and we hope that you are able to see the stunning beauty of this spiritual family you have gathered here today, and that you know that you are not alone. Wait a minute. And that you know that you are not alone. At this time, we shall take our leave of this instrument and transfer the contact to the one known as Gary. We are those of Quo.
All right. Wow. That was another good one. All right. What comments?
That was a good one.
Mhm.
There was a lot in there as well.
Yeah.
So first off, can I just say, yeah, that the bit at the beginning where it's talking about the problems with the family, I had so many issues with my dad. Yeah, like growing up and that. My dad was a bit of a nutter, put expectations on me that were unfair. You know, it caused me lots of problems, right? But when I was going through therapy, I had to do this exercise where I kind of put myself in his position, and I had to kind of be him talking to me about, me. Yeah, so kind of like pretending to be him answering questions or whatever. And putting myself in his shoes, talking to me and viewing myself through his eyes, and that whole kind of mirroring idea was really kind of a powerful thing for me. Right now, like he died a little while after that and everything, tragic and whatever. But then I had that astral projection experience, right? Now, I still had all of these like tight, wound up feelings about him, when he died, and then the astral projection thing where I met him in like a heaven pub somewhere, and we didn't really talk. It was like we communicated in like telepathic, emotional concepts. It was fucking crazy. But that one night did more therapy for me than like all of the therapy, and it was because it was like we had this emotional, like like back and forth, like we were transferring like the real understanding of how he felt or how I felt, and like acknowledging and accepting that in one another, I suppose, which is like exactly what like Quo was talking about, that you have to do and see that in the other. It was like we had that conversation in a way that you can't have when you're alive, when he was alive, but it led me to exactly the state that Quo's talking about. This acceptance, this understanding that he is such a huge part of my life, good or bad, right or wrong, whatever way that it happened, whatever way you can't hold on to those things. That just does you damage. Letting go and accepting. Don't forget them, obviously, but forgive and have compassion and move on with love, because he's my dad. I love him. But all of those things, every single thing in there, kind of relates like so well into that whole kind of like the whole experience. Yeah. Sorry, that's just there's a jump in there. Maybe you'll go a bit. Whoa.
Yeah, Fred, go ahead.
I just wanted to say how interesting it was that when they started to say about. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. How they started to say about family doesn't just have to be your nuclear biological family. You would expect like any type of therapist to say, well, your friends are your family, your coworkers that you get along with are your family, those who you choose to be around your family. But you would never expect anybody to say that the wind is your family, the earth is your family, the stars are your family, we are your family. This is, your every single, your thoughts are your family. It's really interesting to think of it that way, because it's all an illusory aspect, no matter how you slice or dice it. So when you're seeing your dog, like Robert's dog, sitting there, on his lap tonight, and mine trying to get my attention, that my kids running around, people that aren't my kids, family and everything, and friends and significant others, those people are all my family. But not just those people. It's everything. It's basically what it seems like is anything you pay attention to, which would be considered the basic concept of love, would be something that would be considered familial to you. That's kind of what I got out of it.
I just
So
think that it's a beautiful way to kind of view non-duality. The fact that we're all part
yes,
of one, we're all part of one thing, we're all connected to that one. We're all that one thing.
a
So it
very
doesn't matter
poetic
whether
way
it's a
of
dog,
looking at it.
it
Yeah,
doesn't matter whether it's airflow, it doesn't matter whether they're all our relation, because
it,
we are all of those. We are connected to and part of the same thing that all. So everything is related. We're all related to one thing.
right.
Just by being on
And
Earth, we're all one thing, right?
when I heard them say about the wind and everything being all, part of the family, that immediately, for some reason, the song Seminole Wind by, who sang that? Anderson, country singer. Robert might know. Maybe
No,
Michelle knows. Benny. Well, Benny listens to rap. He don't listen to country.
and I would only do classic country, more or less.
This would be from the 90s.
Can I say you're talking about a different country for me? So
Yeah.
Actually, I ride around and used to ride around singing country all day with Kristen on the radio, friggin'.
Who sang Seminole
But
Wind?
I don't know. I don't have my Alexa here. I'm in I'm in New York right now, so.
Oh, Andre's got it.
Yeah. Do you have any other aspects to it? It's a country song?
Country song. Yeah, it's 90s.
Okay. Do.
Here, just staying on topic. It don't have to be blood,
John
even
Anderson.
on vacation.
Yeah.
John
I bring 'em
Anderson.
here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your adopted father. Yeah. It's a well-known country
It's
song
more-
from the 90s, released in 1982. The song is notable for its lyrics that speak to environmental concerns and the history of Seminole tribe in Florida. Yeah. Yeah, so...
It's a very good song. You should listen to it once. Andre, you might like it.
Okay. I'll we don't have the audio share, unfortunately, on this, but...
You have Spotify?
Oh, well, no, I can listen to it on YouTube when I get a chance.
Oh, right, for sure, yeah.
So, view familial dynamics as a learning catalyst, recognize family relationships as opportunities to learn about yourself, reframe challenges as opportunities, understand that hostility or rejection from family members can be seen through the lens of love and gratitude, offering a chance to practice unconditional love. Adopt a spiritual attitude, embrace gratitude, wonder, curiosity, and acceptance while navigating family dynamics. See others as extensions of the Creator. Acknowledge and accept pain. Allow yourself to feel and recognize the pain and confusion caused by family issues, and use these emotions as opportunities for self-love and continued faith. And I think I really liked also the part where they talked about, let go with love. Release the pain and confusion while continuing to bless those who caused it, maintaining a healthy perspective. Redefine family Expand the concept of family beyond blood relations to include anyone or anything that provides support, understanding, and spiritual growth. Offer empathy and understanding. Show deep care and love while navigating difficult relationships. Steer your journey. Recognize your role in directing your life experiences through the spiritual attitudes you adopt. Inspire others through openness. Use your approach to challenge relationships as a beacon for others. Balance love with wisdom. Ensures your actions are guided by both unconditional love and wisdom to avoid emotional exhaustion. Practice, so
Can I
like...
just jump in there for that
Go
bit?
ahead. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, so the balance in love with wisdom bit, I thought that was really important for, like, you know, my personal experience as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know, like, have you guys ever been with a girl that has BPD before?
What's BPD?
Borderline personality
Oh.
disorder?
Yes. Oh, yes. For
Yeah,
28
okay, so
years.
so
Yeah.
I was with a girl for 3 years that had it. She's absolutely bonkers, kind of destroyed me emotionally. But the reason that she destroyed me emotionally is because I didn't balance love with wisdom. Yeah, I just gave and gave and gave, pathologically giving, because of the fact of I couldn't really blame her for her condition. It was strictly her fault. Does that make sense? So I forgave and I moved on and I accepted and I kept going. I kept going. I kept going to the point where I did not use wisdom to protect myself. I ended up letting all of this damage happen to me when I should have moved. I should have realized it was happening via wisdom, and stopping these things from doing that. Like balancing love with wisdom rather than allowing that love to then essentially do me damage. That is, yeah, I got that fully from it.
That's a good real life example. Yeah.
Did it just come up with BPD? Okay. Oh, did you just Google this?
Oh, I asked ChatGPT.
Yeah. Okay. What you should have done is ask ChatGPT to kind of describe what it's like being in a relationship with someone with BPD. That would be a great question to ask it.
Number two. Number two. Andre in that list. Number 2.
Unstable relationships. What? Or
yes.
That's what he was asking
Very
about.
unstable.
Yes. Okay. How does one apply the lessons we learned about family?
Individuals with BPD tend to have intense, short-lived relationships.
A relationship with someone who has
3 years. I did well.
I did 28 years.
Dude, you are a boss. How are you not like crushed in every part of your soul?
I walked out of it with a house and I'm okay.
Dude, wisdom over love.
Yeah.
Yo,
I now live in a shack.
up here.
So yeah, it says here, educate yourself about BPD, practice patience and understanding, maintain consistent and clear communication, helps reduce misunderstandings and provide stability, set boundaries. It's crucial. I think this is the wisdom part. It's crucial to set and maintain healthy boundaries. Boundaries to help protect your well-being can also provide structure and consistency for someone with BPD. Avoid invalidating their feelings. Even if you don't understand or agree with their perspective, acknowledge and validate their feelings. Avoid dismissive statements like you shouldn't feel that way. Be supportive but not enabling. Offer support and encouragement, especially when they engage in therapy or healthy coping mechanisms. However, be careful not to enable harmful behavior. Encourage professional help. Use de-escalation techniques in conflicts. People with BPD can experience intense emotional reactions. Learning de-escalation techniques can help calm a situation and prevent it from escalating. Self-care is key. It's important to look after your own mental health and emotional health. Seek support for yourself.
Okay, right. So up to that point, yeah. Everything that's suggested to do, I did fully.
Mm-hmm.
It does not change shit. It's an unstoppable force. It doesn't do anything. And up to this point, the self-care is key bit. That is essentially where I went wrong. I tried to handle all of this crazy, like it just said, every single thing you do has to go through that lens or it's warfare. So to the point where I completely lost track of the self-care part.
Mm-hmm.
Hence why now I'm in therapy.
Whether it's through therapy or support groups or trusted friends and family. Well, you're in a support group now too.
That's it.
Yeah. Respond, don't react. Try to respond thoughtfully rather than react emotionally. Recognize your limits and celebrate progress. Recognize and celebrate progress, however small it might be. Positive reinforcement can be very
Yay!
encouraging.
We didn't argue for 7 hours. That's just great. Well done, go us.
Yeah, we had peace for 7 hours. I think that's where
Woo!
we gotta
Yay!
do the focus. All right. So balance, love, wisdom. Practice self-recognition in moments of difficulty. Acknowledge your own worth and the worth of others. Balancing the need for love with self-care. And appreciate your spiritual family. Recognize the value and connections and support with your spiritual community.
I wish I had you guys back then. Maybe you could have talked me out of it.
No kidding. I could use a lot of help too. Yeah.
All right. Are we ready for the next one?
But the question is, would you have actually listened?
That's true too.
Or would you push
If
back?
If I'd have tried to listen, she'd have stopped me from going.
Exactly. So fucking like my longest relationship was probably like 9.5 years with like couple years, just chilling at, every night, fucking just riding around blunt riding. But my lowest was 2 years, and I was with 2 different women, and then there was a couple other women in between, those. But I never, wanted to be with them, so whatever. So yeah, sometimes you just can't fix relationships, man. Fucking, it goes like that with your niggas too. Fucking, I know people out here. Fucking, I look at them, know what they've done, and shit, fucking, you just aren't made. Whatever. You get what I'm saying. You just aren't built like that. Friggin'. So I understand what Ed's saying, because you could go ahead, give your full card of hands, have a royal flush, and people will still try to fuck you at the end of the day. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Good night. I'm going to just be sitting here.
All right. Well, we got one last question and answer here. All right. Did anyone want to volunteer to read the answer? Or I can read it.
I volunteer Bene.
Bennett.
What is it? Is it quote?
It's
QO?
It's Kuo, and it's really long.
All right,
Yeah.
I got it.
You got it? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, hold
All
on.
right, give me 1 second. Let me clear my throat. I probably have throat cancer, but we'll find out in January.
Okay.
Fuck, dude, what?
Nah, it's real fucked up. But we are. What is it? QO?
So for healing throat cancer, you gotta forgive and love your expressions, your truth, and also not force it on others. Not force your truth on others, and then you'll be healed.
I don't. Fucking.
Oh, well, then then the only other thing is speaking your truth. Sharing your wisdom, that kind of stuff.
All right, so we are QO.
Yeah, yes.
And we have received
I'll read.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I'll read the question.
Go ahead, read it.
Okay. Thank you, Kuo. The next question is, how can we help support and heal another self that is suffering?
We are QO, and we have received this query. My sister query, and we thank the question asker for this basic orientation where much work in the polarization of your consciousness and the healing of your world is done. Many of the third density tribe may only fleetingly, if at all, consider this question seeking instead of the promotion of their own interests and status, well-being, survival, and etc. To have empathy to a degree sufficient that one sees another in pain. Where are we?
Here.
Oh, close to or distant from is the awakening of that golden flower. That is the green ray of the energy center. That which begins the great
Can I just say, you sound like Terrence McKenna. It's wicked.
Transcendence of the illusion. Oh shit, he moved it.
Okay.
Of the separate
that
self.
begins the great transcendence of the illusion. Yes. Okay.
That which begins the great transcendence of the illusion of the separate self in the separate world with loved ones suffer. Wait,
With separate
in
other
the
selves.
separate other selves. Okay, I got this. Let me zoom in.
Okay.
This is the other self in pain. This other self struggles. This
Hello.
other self too. Where are we?
Uh,
This other self struggles. This loved
That's
one
right.
suffers, and into witness and perhaps contact with that suffering. The self too suffers, and a whole infinite range of responses may result from putting the shoulder underneath the arms of the struggling loved one to carrying them entirely. There are many ways to be of service of this regard. We would not have a one size fits all formula for a situation isn't unique in your world. Each itself is unique in their configuration of energy centers and the lessons which they set for themselves. And in that process, that set for themselves and in the way that they process their so-called catalyst, because catalyst is mind, mind catalyst is mind catalyst if you read law of one, all that, and doubly unique when in a relationship with another self who is also unique, though we may certainly offer some principles for the consideration, beginning with this notion of healing the other self. My friends, we understand that this is an impulse and need quite well. Having traversed this landscape ourselves, we applaud this attention to be in service in this way. And indeed, he or she who serves in the capacity of healing may indeed offer catalyst, which gives the other self the opportunity to heal on various levels. But we would caution self when considering this question that the entity cannot heal entity B precisely, but can only offer.
no, is that too
Wait,
much? Okay.
no, it's not too much. I'm gonna finish reading. That's something else that y'all don't even understand. They said unless if you put them in cages. I just said okay. Where are we?
Oh, here.
But can only offer the catalyst which stimulates the will and particularly the faith of the one other self that they may tap into their own inner healer, aka heart. How to do so? There are many paths and methodologies which one may practice so that they become skilled in this art. Many known among this circle now may many being practiced among the circle, which is valid in its own different way, each having various ratios of strengths and weaknesses, but underlying the so-called success of what's the catalyst healing is the inspiration which awakens the creator, the identity of the creator, the oneness of all things, and the faith that is the bridge to that oneness with the seemingly illusion bound to other self. Some require great intricate practice such that they may be convinced, shall we say, of their own innate power to transform to understand the underlying mechanism of catalysts at work within themselves that they may heal. Some may only need a simple word or gesture. Some whose capacity to heal is of being itself, they have conducted disciplines of personality to such a high and purified degree that they understand as transparent vessels of the creator through the creator into the illusions, radiating the peace, the perfection, and the wholeness to all entities. That those who come in contact with this, we might say energy fields are invited into recognition of that which they had forgotten, disbelieved, and rejected in favor of more limited and even negative of beliefs about self. And in the attempt to be of the service of healing, we should remind that one cannot walk into the shoes of another through the faculty of empathy. One can and should, you might say, imaginatively, emotionally, and conceptually place themselves into another's shoes to understand their situation from the inside out as best as possible at one's own preconceptions, set aside one's own standards and biases suspended to the reality from the other self eyes to feel what is to be that other self. But a self cannot learn the lessons and make the choices and processes. Oh, we missed it.
Processes.
Processes and catalysts for the other self. It is well to offer service if it is requested, however that may look. And it is well to trust that the self, which when we moved again, and to trust that the self, what you seek, heal, is upon a course that they set. Perhaps the course is going accordingly to plan. Their pre-incarnational desire and in cooperation with the higher self. Perhaps they within the exercise of their incarnational will or free will are, shall we say, deviating from that path. In either event, the mechanisms of catalysts are the work according to the operations of free will. and and some catalysts are not subjected to the healing as you would see it on an outer level with incarnation for the limitations which the experience was intended as mechanisms for learning. But even when permanent or even accurately incarnationally long, such as mechanisms still invite the journey of healing. It invites the self into question of how can I use this catalyst in an affirmative sense? How may I heal into wholeness, like eye consciousness is for some people, but and another self always, of course, be an aid in this regard, only insofar as it is requested for the open heart seeker exercising and cultivating its empathy. We would add that to be of aid to those who suffer begins with the practice of listening, yes. For even among those of you trained professionals in your world, those who have cultivated the tool sets to be the service through rigorous disciplines such as the psychologist, the social worker, the counselor, and so forth, such tools as an other self, such tools have cultivated. Is that where we are?
Yeah, as cultivated.
As cultivated have no specific universal formula that apply as equally to oneself as an other self. Even in these cases, the servant seeks to listen, to perform, and then take, as it was called in these fields. So we would suggest to you, my friends, not to arrive at the doorstep or bedside or the open seat to the next one who suffers with a manufactured agenda. Okay, that makes sense. Shall we say perhaps one may have ideas, creative ideas one may do. Perhaps one may have the great host of tools or, feelings or senses, but such ideas and such tools and such abilities to be in service must needs be tailored. Okay, I see how they're saying it. Must needs be tailored to unique needs of the unique individual. That happens as a function of the deep listening, whether it is their words, to their tears, to their affections, or in any way they're transmitting their beingness and their state of needs and the state of pain. Oh, and their state of needs anyway, and which way they're transmitting their one beingness and their state of
Need.
and the state of pain. Yeah, and the state of need, the state of pain. The more sensitive that one can be to the cues and the signals and the energies of the other self, the more proficient and successful one may be in responding to those particular needs. And we know, my friends, how your heart aches to alleviate the other's self of that which burdens them. And we would counsel that you devote that energy to responding to those needs with the understanding that it is your very beingness, which is the most profound service to self and others. That beingness is made service ready, shall we say. It is fashioned and formed into a tool of service by the work upon your own self. The work to forgive those unforgiving strands within your own being. The work to love those, the work to love those unloved aspects of yourself, to work to integrate into your heart those parts of yourself which have been shunned and perhaps abused. How long is this thing?
It's almost over. Did you want me to
All
take
right, the
over?
more I'm gonna just finish it since I started it. This
Okay.
is the way I am.
Okay.
The more you are able to clarify and purify your own heart, the more that you may be a purified instrument for the Creator operating within the illusion, an instrument of light and love. The more that your very being reaches the being of the one you seek to serve, not because your personality has become greater, but because you have become more humble and transparent, less wrapped up in and involved in your own circular thinking, more able to be faithful in the trust that all is well, and that you need to live in the past
You need not.
or the future. You need not to live in the past or the future, yes, but that you may exist within the nexus where in the self, the creator, that being the present, the eternal present moment. And in for the standpoint, the service to one suffering may simplify to breathe with them, to hold them in your arms, to hold their hand, to affirm with the willingness of your whole self that you see them. You are there with them fully in unconditional love and acceptance. You see their light and their dark and their open and their closed thoughts and energies, and you accept the totality of their being without judgment. It is certainly possible and well to intend, even when it's not fully authentic, felt. But there is no substitute for the authentic embodiment of this attitude towards another self. Many of you know the feeling of being in such an energy field, to be accepted as the creator accepts you. It is possible to be that to another self, for the creator is something that you will achieve at the end of the long road. It is who you are right now, all else being but an illusion with what you currently identify, if that makes sense, if I'm not rambling. But but you need to be masters, as our words may convey, to be of service. A simple listening ear, a simple "How are you doing today?" may be all that is needed. As the smile, the card, that small communication which lets another self know that they are upon your mind, that they are cared for, that they're not alone. And in closing, my friends, we would suggest that to the greatest extent possible, however the other self presents them to you, and whatever broken, distorted configuration of suffering that they may be consumed and imprisoned by, but you see them in their wholeness, honoring and recognizing that what precipitates their suffering, empath- empathizing with their loss or limitation or confusion, but understanding that even this, as deep as the, I have never seen that word,
Throes of agony.
theoro,
Throes.
theoro,
Throes
all right,
of
throes
agony.
of agony.
Yeah.
may go, even this is a temporary role and an outer aspect of the fullness of their being. See them as whole, see them as perfect, see them as magnificent, which is to say, see them for who they truly are. That seeing alone invites the other self into recognition of the one being with their hearts. At this time, we
Okay.
would transfer our content to those known as Austin. We thank you, my friends. We are those known to the principle of quote.
All right.
All right,
Awesome.
let me go
Thanks, man.
smoke a cigarette.
All right.
I didn't do bad.
Yeah, you did great. You did great, Benny. Okay.
Very good, Benny. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So, what are you guys' comments on that healing thing?
Okay, so that once again covered loads of stuff in there, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
But it starts off talking about how kind of like, in order to heal someone else, essentially you just kind of, it's not down to you. You just provide the catalyst so they can heal themselves, right?
Yeah.
So I spoke about that before, and then the whole kind of the whole realization that the act of healing is as much about healing yourself as it is about them.
Yes.
And
I think every single person who goes into a field of psychology or ministry of counseling or whatever should read that quote.
Yeah, it's a good one. I mean, like, a lot of the message to me seemed that, don't come there with an agenda. Be there to listen to them and to provide your love, shine your love to them from your heart.
Exactly.
Recognize them as the infinite creator. And that is a deep healing in and of itself.
each being is a unique individual. Everybody has a unique nature to themselves, which others can't fully understand because it is unique.
Yeah. So, so the bullet. Go ahead.
A lot of the time, you find people that kind of want to heal, like I was saying, how can I heal somebody, in this position or whatever. Yeah, a lot of the time, people want to heal people. They don't always take into account how that person wants to be healed.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? So I think a lot of what they were mentioning there was essentially how kind of like you have to take in what they want, really, and whether their catalyst and how they feel and what they do is just important as how you perceive them and what you think that they might need and what you think might help.
Mm-hmm.
Forcing that on them isn't going to help. That everyone has their own path, and treating every single thing as its own individual effort is just as important.
So if a unique individual came up to you and asked you for specific help about something that they think is wrong with themselves, then you're not held liable for helping create that so much. You can help them understand what it is that they are undergoing. Benny, what's up?
One time, I was sitting on the metro, right? I mean, I could only been 15, 16 years old. I mean, and this guy said, I'm going to go commit suicide, all of this. So I just sat with him all night and took him to the hospital, once I got to my car, because there's no reason driving into the city. So, I get what you're saying, like in that path. You can't really change a person's, well, I wouldn't say it's an opinion, it's like a factual aspect of themselves, right? So, and what they look on themselves is really just projected onto you, and then how you feel is about that is projected on them, and you do that to yourself and you do that to them, and then it's just a so-called shit cycle. But I don't know where they're getting at, but I mean, maybe that's all I need to say. Fucking pretty much.
Yeah, the shit cycle. I like that. Yeah, but no, it's always bouncing around. It's like this illusion we're in is trapped within a walled containment, some kind, and stuff is just bouncing around in here, and we call it shit.
So, yeah, the bullet points are empathize with suffering, recognize and empathize with the pain of others is an essential step. Awakening of compassion and transcendence beyond the illusion of separation. Understand the uniqueness of each situation. Realize that every individual and their suffering is unique, and there's no one-size-fits-all approach to healing. And that's true, because there's pre-incarnative choices and things like that. And like they were mentioning, like incarnation-long illnesses that are just not going to abate. Facilitate, don't impose healing. Understand that you cannot heal someone directly, but you can offer support that may catalyze their own healing process. Explore different healing methods. Be open to various paths and methodologies for healing, acknowledging that each has its strengths and weaknesses. Inspire faith and recognition of the inner healer. Help the suffering individual awaken to their own inner power and the interconnectedness of all beings. I think that's a very powerful one. It's good to empower people. Practice deep listening. Listen attentively to the needs and expressions of the suffering individual, as this can guide you in how to respond effectively to their unique situation. Be present and authentic. Offer your genuine presence and empathy, understanding that your beingness can be a profound service to those in pain. Work on personal healing and integration. The more you work on healing and integrating your own being, the more effective you can be in helping others. Offer unconditional love and acceptance. Show unconditional love and acceptance, seeing the others in their totality, both light and dark. See others in their wholeness. Even amidst their suffering, recognize the wholeness and perfection of the other person, understanding that their current state is temporary. Simple gestures can be powerful. Sometimes a simple act of kindness or small gesture can be all that is needed to provide comfort and to show care. And recognize the temporary nature of roles. Acknowledge that the current suffering is part of a temporary role and not the entirety of the individual's beings.
No, that was like the temperature of the rolls, though, too. It was. They're seeing it in light, measurements of light, so it would have a temperature characteristic, too.
Yeah. There was a trouble with generating the image. It was like, it can't depict for some reason someone that's by the bedside of a sick person. So that's the best it could do.
I've run into those problems.
Yeah.
Well, then they touched on the catalyst that cannot be healed, the catalyst that cannot be changed because of either pre-incarnative choice or otherwise. That's also something else to remember. If somebody's, it depends. I mean, you get in a car accident and somebody's mangled to pieces and they're all, chopped up. There's not too much that, you just feeling a certain way or sending them love and light is going to help them. Same goes for somebody that's 100 years old and they're on their deathbed. So sometimes also there's pre-incarnative things that we do to ourselves that restrict us certain ways so that we are more, I don't know if it's more inclined to do certain work or less inclined to do work we're not supposed to do, or maybe both. But I think it's interesting that they mention that too, because that's another thing that's important to understand is sometimes you can't get somebody to heal themselves either because of their own choice or because of their pre-incarnative choice. Either way, it's not your choice.
Yeah, the pertinent paragraph is here. And some catalysts are not subject to the healing, as you would see it on the outer level within the incarnation, for the limitation which they experience was intended as a mechanism for learning. But even when permanent, or more accurately, incarnationally long, such a mechanism still invites the journey of healing, invites the self into the question of, how may I use this catalyst in an affirmative sense? How may I heal into wholeness? So I think that with these like pre-incarnative catalysts, it can be, like learning to constantly grow in a certain way based on the limitation that you're given. And then you're constantly kind of growing in counteraction to it. Like, for instance, I remember they were saying like narcissism is a pre-incarnative choice that some people get in order to learn to overcome that narcissism and to learn to value others more.
Doesn't BPD actually fuel a narcissistic behavior in somebody?
No, it's basically because of the way the behaviors work, it comes across as narcissistic behavior, but it's different to narcissism because essentially they don't have the same view of the self. It's kind of how BPD works. They don't really have a view of themselves.
And I agree with that. Are you guys there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what were you saying? A person's view of self? Because I had something that popped into my head, just through experience, through all these years of my life dealing with, there's all sorts of different people. Like, and these people, they come randomly into my life, but you can't change a person if you're going to be the same how they already see the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be that light that, lets them see something farther and goes to it. At the end of the day, if you give them the same thing that they see, do you really think they're going to give a fuck at the end of the day?
Right. What you're saying is be the change you want to see.
Yeah, it's never simple from us. So, it's just more like, don't even know how to put it. It's like a lot of emotions, and then those emotions meet emotions, and then it goes to the next emotions, and either you're going to nurture or you're going to just be a beast. And that's just how it goes. So, I guess that's good. Keep going. Just finish.
I was trying to read through some of that as you were scrolling,
Okay,
Andre.
yeah.
What about when it goes down to the differences between BPD and MPD? It's talking about empathy right there, lack of empathy, and then oversensitive empathy. Now, I know the individual that I'm thinking of had both. Depends on the situation, and it depended on how much alcohol was involved. Okay, scroll down.
Okay.
BPD, basically the main problem with it is they never actually form a proper character personality. So basically all of those symptoms that you see in there will pop in and out of existence randomly, in and out throughout their life. And they won't even acknowledge that they've had one or the other of the symptoms. So they just won't actually even understand that was them 2 weeks ago.
Then you have the self-image thing where you have feelings of worthlessness and everything, and then there's oversensitive to like where they're exempt from rules of society. Like, that law doesn't apply to me. That applies to most other people. When other people are stupid, I'm special, so that doesn't apply to me. So
that normally only matters. That only normally comes in when there's actually like real emotional drive. So they'll basically, if they're emotionally triggered by something, they will ignore all rules, all like laws, all anything, because they are right, and nothing will be able to convince them otherwise.
Yeah, and alcohol.
Well, yeah, my one didn't drink, so You know, all I know is
Oh, mine did.
Andre,
You know,
did
I
you
will.
save the tab for the previous one,
Save
or did you go?
which for which,
Yeah, not.
what's the
Yeah.
previous one?
Yeah, there was 2 words on the previous one. I was trying to remember, and then it disappeared.
which what's the previous one?
That it was probably that one right there.
The BPD about the
Yeah. Can you scroll up a little?
okay.
Right there. Yeah, chronic emptiness.
Yes. Feelings
Just
of
never ever
worthlessness
being
and chronic
fulfilled, no matter
emptiness.
how great something is. Never really feeling happy.
Can you
So
imagine
frustrating.
that?
Oh my god, it's so frustrating.
Wow.
I, you know, I couldn't. Wait, finish, Robert, and then I'll go. I'm sorry for interrupting
No,
you.
I did. Go ahead, yeah.
You know, I couldn't even feel like, or even know what it's like to be empty. Like, literally, I could have the whole world, right? I mean, I got the money, I got everything, but I got $250 worth of bills. My rent's paid for. I mean, and I'm complete. Even at this point, I'm completely whole and happy with what I have in front of me. You know, so I have met somebody like that that just feels empty, and I spent most of my life with them. And I think those are the people that end up killing themselves.
Sounds like it, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
That because
'Cause I mean,
both.
she's
BPD
gonna
does have
keep.
one of the highest kind of suicide rates for, you know,
I mean,
random
she's gonna keep
illnesses.
drinking no matter what, so she's gonna die. I mean, I already told her she's gonna die. Fucking, I'll watch her die because that's all I can do. You know, every day I can just tell her, "Hey, you need to do the right thing, whatever." But
And the reason I was bringing that up too is that those 2 words, chronic emptiness, you know, it sounds like a ruling army in hell. It just,
Oh yeah. Well, I wanted to say that my understanding of that chronic emptiness is when one's heart is not open, or when, like, if there isn't enough energy getting there, that's where you get that emptiness. And like service to self people, they always feel empty, and that's why they're always trying to get more all the time. Like Bill Gates, he's never has enough land, he never has enough money,
he never has enough. Who he never.
never enough power, you know. He's always suffering, you know. It's so sad being service to self. And but you can all that can only be filled with the love of the infinite creator. It's a whole that can only, it only fits one thing, and that's the infinite creator. But in order for the heart to be activated, you know, it's not kind of like for, like, say, a BPD person. I think it's their trouble seems to be at the root chakra of not resting in the faith that all is well and all will be well. And then, like, you know, that's where they're having, and then there's the abandonment issues, and so that would be on what do you call, that would also be fear of loss, and so that would be like red orange ray blockage. That's fairly low, you know. And so all of those have to be balanced. The orange submission, domination, not dominating their spouse but recognizing the divine within them, and then and themselves, and then also at the same thing at the family level. And only then, after loving and accepting, like, their family and their colleagues or the people they interact with on a regular basis, only then do we get to the heart level, and then we can open that heart, and then we can finally be filled with the love of the infinite creator.
Exactly. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And then they can they can
Can
find
I say
relief.
there was so many crazy innuendos they could have jumped in there with, like, you know, that little bit there, and, like, you know, where she was like, you know, they, you know, definitely needed to balance the whole domination kind of like slave bit. Yeah,
Yes.
she was fun in lots of regards, not gonna lie.
And before I forget this, you know, I don't even ever feel empty. Like right now, of course, you know, I was drinking when I was going through certain woes, but I'm on vacation right now, so I would be upstairs right now, with my peoples having a great grand old time. But even if I showed people love, and I think everybody in this group right now would understand this, you wouldn't. It's not even about rejection. It's just like sometimes I can think of 100,000 times in my life where somebody friggin' let me down. They fucking did this. My dad said this to me, I wish I never adopted you. Fucking shit like that. Fucking. It wouldn't lead to an emptiness, but it would almost lead to, like shit, I can't sleep because I gave this person this love and I felt that love. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but fucking, I think that is, how it goes, and it's all good. I mean, I think that's every single aspect of life, and when it comes to giving people love in life, you can never give too much love, but I mean, if a person
You always
doesn't
got to
have the
balance it with wisdom, though, right?
if the person doesn't have the aptitude to understand that, then you have to balance it with their wisdom. See, I'm a motherfucker full of wisdom because I've seen all the most fucked up shit from my own best friend blowing off his head in front of his kids and me on his front porch. Like, I mean, okay. So, I mean,
Betty, every
yeah.
single one of your stories is messed up, dude. Like all of them.
That's
Like
right.
what? Did you have anything good happen to you in your life, man? Like what?
No, my mother would tell you that. My mother would say here with you, I could go up here right now and I put her on, where's my battery at? I'll put her on, and she'll tell you fucking, yeah, I'll go up right now.
Wait, your
Dude,
mother
And
I
is there?
believe you. I believe you. Yeah, I'm not
Okay.
yeah,
saying I
Okay,
don't
that's
need
cool.
validation.
yeah,
I'm
just
just
let
saying
me
Hey,
to you,
we've
like
never. We're
what?
gonna see Benny's mother.
It's
Okay, yeah, I
familial.
do want to see that. I do want to see that.
It's what we were just talking about, family.
Yeah.
yeah. Hey, mama. Let me go find her.
Okay. Okay.
Oh yeah, she's up here. Yeah, she's in the living room. I'm getting her on camera.
Yeah.
Where's mom? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
We
yeah.
can hear you.
Oh, I'm well excited.
Oh, they want to see you.
Oh no. Not now. No.
This is Vonda.
Hi.
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 Hey.
And that's mom. Tell them how crazy my
Hi.
life is.
Yeah, you've been nice to meet you guys.
You
Yeah,
too.
nice to meet
Have I
you.
been through too much?
Yeah, you've been through a lot,
Yep. So,
but you're doing better.
yep.
Good. Nice to meet you.
They're in England.
Yes, have a great
They're in
holiday.
England, everywhere else. So, yep. Hello. All right, you guys go on.
Yeah. Viewing familial dynamics as learning catalysts. Yeah. Well, because we were offering. I mean, we were covering it earlier. All right. So let's. I guess I'll read the last paragraph here, just so that we complete this whole session. All right. We are. Oh, we are Kuo and are again with this instrument. We cannot adequately express through this instrument the gratitude that we feel to be invited to join you in your circle of seeking. But if you may open your hearts, it is there that you can find our gratitude as we share it with you. And there in your hearts as well, you may find the knowledge that is no coincidence, that you are all here at this moment together, that you are all here upon this planet at this time. You may find the knowledge that you choose to be here and to incarnate upon a troubled planet in order to share the love and the light of the one infinite Creator. This planet thirsts for that love, and we assure you that that love that you share at no point in this planet's past has been more potent and more effective. So go forth then with the faith that any ounce of love that you can muster to share with this planet redounds to the bounds of infinity. We leave you as we found you, in the love and in the light of the one infinite Creator. We are cool. Adonai. Adonai vasuboragos.
Wow.
That's deep.
Yeah.
We leave you as we found you.
Yes.
I love, once again, I love how poetic they are. Like, it's like you couldn't just make this stuff up, you know. So one of the things that just makes me so like blows me away by the channeling, like it's so concisely perfect, but it's also so poetic and beautiful. Like, you know,
Yeah.
They do rap
they
it.
need like a team of writers sitting there writing this shit to make it that nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And Carla used to channel one group or entity that would only communicate by singing.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Mm-hmm.
And it was supposed to be like, you know, the language of the angels type of song making.
That is how it is. Yeah.
Oh, what is it? Is there an album? Is it on Spotify?
No,
did-
it was
Look-
before Spotify.
Yeah, way
Look,
before.
look at Hebrew music. Like Hebrew music is a perfect example of
Okay,
that.
I'll be
Like,
back in a minute, guys.
Okay. Oh, I forgot to ask Michelle about her stuff.
she left. She left when I started to show my mother.
Oh, okay.
I gotta
Well,
go too.
It's almost
you
done.
guys.
Okay, all right. Well, I guess we're gonna close it up.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll
Sounds
leave
like a
you
good time to cut it.
as we found you, in the love and in the light of the one infinite Creator, Adonai.
Adonai. Have a good night, guys.
Good
Good
night.
night,
Night
all.
night.